Hi, I'm Karen. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tag video. This is 13 Real Tarot Questions by Mary-Grace Fahrun. I found this tag video on Benny's channel, The Fool's Apprentice. Many of you probably know that Benny passed away not long ago. Whenever I think about Benny, I go to his channel and I watch a video to honor and remember him. And I ran across this tag video in his #Saturday playlist. It looks like it was popular about 3 years ago, and I thought it would be fun to bring it back. So let's get started. While I go through the questions, I'm going to play with this deck. This is Magical Nature's Tarot by the Sync Spirit Collective. And it's a beautiful deck, which is so fun to shuffle. I love this cardstock. It is the Eco Herbage cardstock from Make Plain Cards. And for my small hands, it is perfect for shuffling. It's flexible, it's thin but not too thin. It just shuffles beautifully. So I'm going to be playing with this a little bit and showing you some of these cards just to have something to do with my hands while I answer the questions. I also have a palm stone here that you may see me play with. This is Desert Jasper. This was a gift from my husband, and it is such a beautiful stone. And so fun just to play with. Let's get started on the questions. The first question is, what is tarot to you? Tarot is a tool in my spiritual practice. It's a way to focus, to get outside of my own head, to either receive a different perspective or to receive confirmation of what I've been thinking. I know not everyone uses tarot for spiritual practice, but for me, it's very much a part of my spiritual practice. The second question is, do you read for yourself and do you read for others? I do read for myself. I right now don't read for others, but I'm getting more confident in my reading abilities, so I'm starting to think about reading for others. For now, though, I just read for myself. The next question is, with what frequency do you read for yourself? I have a daily practice, and sometimes I read more than once a day. As someone who is fairly new to tarot, I feel like it's really important for me to read often, probably more often than someone who's been reading for a lot longer. Question number 4 is, what type of readings do you do? It varies. I have a daily angel practice, and I pull a card every morning for that. And then I have a nighttime practice. And most nights I pull before bedtime and reflect on that card. I do a year ahead spread with a card for each month, and then I pull a monthly archetype card to work with for that month. And then I just pull as the occasion arises. My practice is actually very fluid, and I just kind of go with how it feels each day. I just try to make sure I do read often and get plenty of tarot practice in. And by the way, I don't read with reversals, so I must have had this in the wrong position when I shuffled, because half of this deck is reversed. Now, that wasn't one of the questions, but I don't read with reversals. I feel like any situation that you may come across and any answer you may need is built into the tarot as it is, both light and shadow. So I don't feel a need to read reversals on top of that. Anyway, on to the next question with that little extra bonus question thrown in. Question number 5 is, what do you typically consult tarot for? Anything that's on my mind. I consult it for situations concerning work, concerning my health, concerning my family. I consult tarot for clarity on decisions I need to make. I feel like it's a tool that covers pretty much everything that comes up in life, and so I consult tarot for all those things. Question number 6. How do you classify yourself as a reader? Figurative, literal, by the book, or experiential? Because I am a fairly new tarot reader and I am still absorbing the meaning of the cards, I do go by the book quite a bit. But as I become more comfortable in my practice, I do that less and less. And I think that I am more of a experiential tarot reader. My tarot practice is very personal to me. It's very intimate. I interpret my readings based on the question I have asked or the situation I'm dealing with. I don't take myself out of the equation. I take my life experiences and my personal thoughts on the reading and my current energy and the vibe I'm getting from the reading. I take those into account just as much as I do the meaning of the cards. Question number 7. What types of questions do you ask tarot? I ask for clarity on decisions I'm making, advice on where to focus my attention, guidance for the path I'm on, anything really. It's not something that I say for special occasions. I feel like tarot is for everyday use. It's something that I utilize constantly, even though I don't seem to be able to keep my deck straight. But it's any question I come up with, any situation I feel like I could use some advice on. Question number 8. What questions do you never ask tarot? I never ask for specific predictions for the future. I don't ask questions about what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, next year. I don't ask questions that involve someone else. If I start reading for other people, I will not read for people outside of that reading. I can read for them on advice for their part in the relationship, just like I read for advice on my part in my relationships. But I feel like if someone's not present, I shouldn't be reading about them specifically. I don't do that for myself, and I would not do that for others. And I don't think fortune telling is my thing. I know if you feel like that's your gift, good. But I feel like for me, it's more, as I've heard, I believe it was Lisa Pepez says, my tarot practice is more prescriptive and not predictive. Question number 9. Who do you think you're engaging with when you read tarot? The universe? God? Angels? Spirit guides? As I said, my tarot practice is a tool in my spiritual practice. And that's how I use it. So when I receive an answer, just like when I ask for an answer, I consider it a part of my spiritual practice. I use the word God because that's what I'm comfortable with. I use the term angels because that's an energy I feel that I work with in my practice. And I use spirit guides because that's another term that feels like the energies I connect with. But those are just my words that I use for my practice. I don't follow any religion. I just have my own spiritual beliefs, and reading with tarot is a big part of those. Question number 10. What knowledge do you apply to tarot? Numerology, religion, psychology, mythology, astrology, etc. I consider my tarot practice to be holistic. I'm a holistic nurse, which means I believe for health you should bring in all aspects of your life. And I feel the same way about my tarot practice. I'm interested in numerology. I work with the elements. I'm interested in astrology. I work with the moon phases. And I use all of that as part of my tarot practice. Question number 11. Where else in your life do you witness tarot? This question kind of stumped me a little bit. I wasn't quite sure what she meant by that. I'm going to try to answer it the best that I can. I often see the insights from my readings play out in my daily life. I receive a lot of confirmation and validation from my readings in my life experiences. Something will happen, or I'll get in a conversation and it will remind me of a reading I've done. And as I've begun reading tarot, I find that I'm also drawn to other tarot readers. Most of them are here on YouTube in this community. I'm so happy I found this community because I don't have a lot of tarot readers in my real life, but I'm very drawn to communicating and sharing and learning from TarotTube. Question number 12. Have you experienced where tarot has predicted the future, and how did you feel? I wouldn't say that I've experienced tarot predict the future. I've experienced beautiful messages and synchronicities, and I've had results from following the advice that I received through the cards. But I haven't tried to predict the future, and that's just not where I go with my practice. And then the last question. If you have a magical practice, how does tarot fit into it? All of my spiritual practice is magical to me, and tarot is intertwined with all of my practice. So it fits squarely in the middle of my practice, along with my meditation practice, my prayer practice, my practice with crystal energy, my practice with Reiki. It's all a part of my spiritual practice, my holistic practice, and all of that is magical to me. Okay, that's it. I finished the tag. I enjoyed doing this tag. It really made me stop and think about some of the answers. I really had to kind of stretch myself a little bit out of my comfort zone to answer some of the questions, and that's a good thing. That's growth, and I like growing and learning, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, and you have a channel, please consider doing this tag. And if you don't have a channel, maybe just do the tag for yourself, just for some insight on your practice. Bye for now.